A stunning scandal surfaced earlier this week after the New York State Attorney General sent cease and desist letters to major retailers, including GNC, Walmart, Target, and Walgreens, demanding that they stop selling their brand name herbal supplements. After a study supposedly found out that 4 out of 5 of them didn't even contain any of the herb that they were labeled with. Well, many people point to this as proof that the supplement industry is a scam. The truth may actually be deeper than that. This could very well be a coordinated effort, a conspiracy, if you will, on behalf of Big Pharma and the American Medical Mafia. The American Medical Association, in order to attempt to discredit the supplement and vitamin industry to get people to continue to be hooked on their pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals, which, by the way, are one of the top causes of accidental deaths in America. Depending on the year or the report, prescription drugs, the number one cause of accidental death. Yeah, and most of those are from painkillers. From painkillers or just people taking accidentally the wrong pill or too much, or the pharmacist not correctly reading the scribbled prescription and giving the wrong dosage. Of course, we just can't have medical marijuana legalized nationwide. No, that would just cut too far into the profits of Big Pharma. Many people are now questioning the investigation into the supplemental tests, wondering if they in fact were accurate. And even if they were, like I said, this is likely a coordinated effort on behalf of the Illuminati medical mafia in order to attempt to discredit the herbal supplement industry. In fact, multivitamins have been targeted and just said, it's just a waste of money. Yeah, just don't take any vitamins at all. Just go to your doctor and get a prescription for big pharma prescription drugs. Yes. Check my previous video on my personal chiropractic miracle. In fact, I have experienced a medical miracle several years ago now, back in 2011. I had serious chronic congestion, couldn't really breathe through my nose. Went and got I think it was a CAT scan or an MRI that the insurance company was battling with for like a year. Just didn't want to pay, even though I had to jump through hoops and get it approved. They still just kept sending me the bill. Oh, yeah. Oh, we said we'd pay for this, but I'm sorry, you got to pay us anyway. So I wanted to have my sinuses fixed. I just couldn't breathe through my nose hardly at all. It's causing all sorts of health problems. And then a trip to a chiropractor for an unrelated issue. My hunchback from slouching at the laptop for years and being tall. Cured, oops, can't say that word or I'll get sued by the AMA. I'm sorry. Dramatically, instantly alleviated my symptoms after one visit to a chiropractor. Just instantly. I could breathe through my nose when I stood up from the table. It was stunning. I stepped out the door and I could smell the fresh air and the flowers, and it's absolutely life-changing. And so I started researching chiropractic care, and it made perfect sense to me that because I was slouching, I had spinal column nervous system interference, and one upper cervical adjustment instantly alleviated that, allowing my sinuses to function properly. And I'm not giving you medical advice, but the reason I'm telling you this is because back in the 1980s, as this New York Times article shows, which took me forever to even dig it up, it's just been buried on the Google search results. In the 1980s, the American Medical Association was convicted of fraud and conspiracy in an attempt to destroy the chiropractic profession, okay, calling them an unscientific cult. So I personally experienced the medical miracle. Other people have experienced them. The reason chiropractic really how it came into existence was D.D. Palmer, Daniel David Palmer, the founder of it, over 100 years ago, was an osteopath and was talking to a friend of his who was a janitor, who told him a story about how he went to pick up a bucket of water and popped his back and then started losing hearing in at least one of his ears. And so D.D. Palmer studying how the body functions and body mechanics. That's what osteopath is. Had him lay down, face down on a table, felt on his spine that one of his spinal columns is out of alignment, basically just popped it back in, just pushed it back into alignment, and then the guy's hearing came back because your spinal column is just filled with billions and billions of neurons, and it's sort of like if your Ethernet cable is being pinched, your internet just may not work or may be interfered with. And so that's what happened. That's how chiropractic sort of came into existence, and you can see all sorts of testimonies on YouTube of chiropractic miracles. And if you're going to go to a chiropractor, definitely be careful. I've heard some horror stories about it, so I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just telling you my personal experience and how the AMA was convicted of fraud trying to shut them down. Because think about it, when I went to the doctor after my CAT scan and whatever, they gave me a prescription for Claritin and I think it was a steroidal anti-inflammatory that they just said to shoot up your nose every morning and take this Claritin pill every day for the rest of your life if you want to have the chronic sinus congestion fixed. And so, of course, the AMA, the big pharma, going to make a ton of money off of that if I just had to do that for for the rest of my life, as opposed to going to the chiropractor, which, by the way, is actually a free session. But depending on your area, it's like $40 to maybe $50 for an adjustment. Where I was instantly cured. Oh, I'm sorry, can't say cured. Nope, I was fixed. Had the symptoms instantly alleviated, and chronic sinus congestion stopped. Right. So that is some really one of my most important videos. But unfortunately, much of my audience just want to masturbate to murder. They just want death and conspiracy. They don't want any, thing to fix their lives. They're so hopelessly trapped in the downward spiral of death and destruction. There's really just no hope for them. But anyway, this very stunning story. 4 out of 5 brands. I mean, not just one brand, not just at one company. I mean, like the major retailers: GNC, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, and probably more. And not just, a couple of them. I mean, 4 out of 5 of them, 80% of the supplements found to be fake. And so something really stinks here. Most likely a coordinated effort in order to try to discredit herbal supplements. No, they don't work. There's no such thing as natural remedies. Just go to your doctor and just take a big pharmaceutical approved drug for the rest of your life.